Hey Facebook, hey everybody, hey Author Mind. Welcome to this amazing day where we are going to unpack day 2 of the Nail Your Compelling Book idea. I hope y'all can see me all right. Um, Facebook Live producer is always tricky, but we are here. Hey. So I'm going to wait for half a minute, not half a minute. I'm going to just settle myself and see who wants to join me live. If you are watching this live, which I know one of y'all is just now, so thank you for popping in. Whoever is here, please, put your name in the comments and, we can have a chat. For those who are watching the replay, a big warm welcome to you too. I hope you have already watched day 1. If not, then, uh, you know, reach out to me, figure out, it would be in the links somewhere, all these day 1, 2, and 3 will be, hey, hi. Day 1, 2, and 3 will be shared with you, as a package. Um, so make sure that you have watched the day 1 and done the homework, okay? Because it's when you do the work over the 3 days, that's what will help you eventually nail your compelling book idea, which is the objective of the program, of this course, right? So, with that, let's get started. Oh, I am just so honored. I'm just so grateful that I get to do this. Okay. Alrighty, so hello and welcome again. You can make out that I do have some notes which I refer to every now and then. So if it sounds like I'm reading something, sometimes I actually am because I just don't want to miss anything and I want to give you everything that I've planned, okay, that you must receive. So today is day 2 of something that I proudly claim my best free offerings till date. It's almost, the thing is, if I had to teach you how to nail your compelling book idea, I could not do it without teaching what I teach in my paid programs, right? But this is something which holds so many people back from getting started on their book, even because they're constantly thinking and constantly aiming for perfection as to I don't think I have a solid cohesive idea. I don't think I don't think I'm there yet. So they just keep on waiting for some kind of perfection, and that's why I thought, okay, this is a good first step to offer for free. Okay, so if you're watching the replay, I've already said this. I look forward to read your ahas. Leave comments in the thread, and I will get back to you. Okay. So today's topic is model. Okay, and this is pillar number 2 of my 4 pillars in the program that I teach. And the 4 pillars are message, model, mission, and miracles. So, yesterday we touched upon your message, okay, where we unpacked your life's story shame and and then we eventually arrived at the essence of your life story, the essence of your message, okay. Today we are going to, so if you look at it metaphorically, all that was heart stuff, right? All that was emotional stuff, but today we are going to balance all that emotional stuff with logic and with content pillars. Okay, so if someone's getting excited, it is totally worth the excitement because I'm very, very excited. Okay, so for what we're going to unpack today. So today is all about content pillars. Okay, now, if you have not met me earlier or you don't know what I do, if you're just finding me through some, I don't know how I'm going to share this, promote this Facebook ad, I don't know. But, right now this is the live round and live recording. I'm Shilpa of Shilpa Book Coach. That's my, handle on Facebook. That's my page and Instagram. as well as the founder and the sole proprietor of Chapter One Publishers, and I'm the book coach at Chapter One Publishers. So in 2018, I shared this story yesterday as well. In 2018, I did six figures in my book coaching business off the back of my book. But that was not by selling my book, okay? And that's what I always remind and teach my clients as well. Selling, like, 100, 10,000, like 1,000 copies of your books is not the only way to generate revenue for yourself or to make impact for others, right? You might you might just have gifted a copy to a corporate, which is real story for one of my clients. She has been generously giving away her book to corporates because she wants to work with women leadership in corporates, and that's how she has been getting her foot in the door in some major corporate organizations. And now she's got some like major, five-figure coaching gigs in multiple universities in Australia and multiple organizations. So that's just like, that's what we will cover in the miracles side of things in the last pillar. But just want to remind you all that there is no restriction, there is no limitation of ways how you can make six figures, or it's the focus is not even on six figures, but I'm just saying that this is what I did, this is how I did it. So it was basically by helping a lot of women coaches out there who knew they have a burning desire to write a book, and they just did not know how to do it. And that's where I came in. I held space for them. We worked one on one very closely, a lot of back and forth, and I was able to actually get them to finish their books in a meaningful way that they are super proud of owning right now. So I'll just show you a couple of books which I'm so proud of. This is Gifts from Grief from Rachel Pope. This is Chains of Wings On by Andrea Monarghi. So Gifts from Grief was Rachel's story about losing her dad and her husband to cancer. And somewhere in between those two passings, she also lost her brother to a car accident. And, this is Mary's Creative Rebel, where she talks about art therapy, healing PTSD through art therapy. So again, yes, all these ladies and all these books, and these are just some of my books. So, the work that we did together was not only packaging their story and, like an emotional dump on paper, but it was very beautifully structured, which is what we're going to talk about today. So for example, for Mary's, this is what I want to, I'm just so proud of this book. So in Creative Rebel, Mary and I together, you would have heard of that concept of mastermind. When two minds come together, it becomes a third entity. That's how a mastermind works. So together we came up with this acronym called Freedom. So now Mary has a very unique formula for taking her clients through a journey of art therapy for any kind of trauma or healing that they're looking to achieve. Trauma that they're looking to heal, not achieve trauma. So each of the letters FREEDOM stands for one step in her journey, right? And that's what I want to help you do today, to elicit your goodness, dump it all out on paper, and reflect, make sense, identify your wisdom pillars, as I call it. So that's what model is all about. So putting it in the body metaphor again, the work that we did yesterday was all heart work, right? And that is where it should begin. We've always heard start with the why, because if the why is not strong enough, logic by itself will not survive. But when you just sell someone your why, that is sometimes not good enough, because people need to, understand it on a logical level. They need to see how tangible it is. Okay, fine, I know you're passionate about it, but you know, what are the categories? What's involved? Tell me more. They will want some information. And that's where creating your own signature system comes into place. Now, this may or may not be required for everyone, right? If you are, so I have a very successful book which does not have a model. This is My Faded Uniform by Stephanie Altis, which does not have a model, but Steph did not want a model and she wanted to just express her uh, feel, um, her experience of PTSD, right? And that's what we have done. And her book has been received so well in the, in her workplace, which is all the ambos. She's an ambulance officer. And yeah, like, they all felt validated. They all kind of thanked her and they felt seen and they felt heard and they felt understood, that one amongst them has finally, risen to the occasion and, decided to write a book and share with, the outer world of what it means to live the life of an AMBO and to live with PTSD, on a daily basis. So yeah, it's not, what I'm trying to say is, it's not the, it's not the book that, that made me six figures, or, having all these clients that made me six figures. It's just, it's not just, it is the process of tangibilizing, making something tangible. I don't know if that's a word, tangibilizing. Making something tangible, which is, which currently does not exist. It's a vibe, it's a feeling in your head, and that's what we want to, package in a systematic model. Okay, so on that note, I want to say that, so many of us, so many of y'all, we always, like, I wish I would have written 10 books by now, but I haven't, right? Because I'm not immune to all these challenges. I live with these and I overcome them on a daily basis. Um, we think that there are so many books written in the world already. All the books have been written, and who needs one more book from me about postnatal depression, or about domestic violence, or about abuse, or, um, any of the issues, that has been the story of your life and that you want to write a book about, right? So if, on that note, I want to ask you that if all the books were out there, then should not all the books, shouldn't all the people be healed by now? Should not all problems have been solved by now, right? But that is far from the truth. Not everyone is healed, and not every problem is resolved, and not everyone feels, validated, despite there being all those, like millions of books out there. And that is because they need, like, you are the missing piece of the puzzle, right? And so many, like, when people join my Facebook group, there are a few prompts which I have, done my best at presenting certain options, so people can select at joining what is their main problem. Where do they need most help with? And I'm amazed that very few people choose the option or say that, I need help with the mindset of a successful author. But so many feel that I need help mapping out the content of my book. And, despite all of us, I'm assuming the average age of this group, you know, is, like, we are all 30 or above, some, even if we consider like 20 people of 30 years of lived experience, that's 600 years of lived experience, we still feel we don't have enough content or enough inspiration to, put into, like, 80, 90, 100 pages of a book, right? um, yeah, not 100, like here, this one, Mary's book is 176 pages. Yeah. even 200 pages, right? So we have information and inspiration worth, you know, which can fill libraries, but only when we get out of our head. So if I have not even begun, by the way, I don't know, I just went off on tangents and I'm kind of speaking from heart. So I keep, deviating from my notes a little bit, but coming back to, if all this sounds exciting to you, then we are just getting started. Okay. So but the belief that I want to highlight and bring back to, the moment you think, but yes, I know it's all well and good, like I have lots of stories, but they're not all relevant, and that is your ego trying to minimize or just generalize your stories or your experience, and thinking like, oh, that is irrelevant, no one will get anything or any value out of that. But it's not that. And on that note, even though this is not part of what I planned to share, I want to bring it up, right? So this is how our ego works. If you have heard of NLP, that's where I learned this. And it's only recently that I actually started sharing this particular model a lot more, openly, a lot more with the common public. And these are these three processes that our mind runs on autopilot, like all the time. That's how we are making sense, making meaning of the world, of the life that is happening to us and around us. And these three processes are called deletion, distortion, and generalization, right? So it is our mind's, our ego's comfortable space. It's our comfort zone to make a meaning, like interpret, you know, I'm just using a random example. If you see there's an accident on the road, it's common for us to say, oh, someone would have driven wrongly, or someone would have just sped, or oh, someone's mistake, right? Even if we don't utter these words, we think these words, because it is our ego's need to have certainty, to know, to feel like it knows the answer. Okay, so even though it does not know the answer, it will make up an answer to make it, to give the illusion that yes, I know the answer, which gives you the feeling that I am in control, which gives your ego the feeling that I'm in control. Someday, if you see there's a lot of traffic on, like, on an otherwise usually pretty free road, which happened to me yesterday. I went out to drop my daughter, and there was chock-a-block traffic, which was very unusual. And everyone at the school bus stop started talking, oh, there would have been an accident. There would have been an accident. So that is just us, you know, uttering stuff because that makes us feel comfortable. So when I talk about content, or having enough content or not enough content, coming back to the main point, our mind is constantly conditioned to either delete the experiences that you have, or those experiences which are really worth sharing, but minimizing them and saying, huh, that no one wants to hear about, that's just normal, like, I had normal childbirth, that's normal, like, who am I to share, uh, anything about childbirth, because I did not suffer. I had like a smooth delivery. My whole pregnancy experience was, there was no nausea, nothing, like, it was, yeah, one dream of a pregnancy. But does that mean that my experience is any less than someone who suffered like the most complications, right? That's not true. So our mind just likes to delete what it thinks is not important, and always, like, minimize ourselves, distort. So when things get a bit confusing or complex, in such situations the mind will just make up a distorted version of the story, and just say, like, just not showing up for random reasons. So a wonderful example I want to give you here. Once a lady came and told me, I have a manuscript written, and I'm just not publishing the book because I've just put on a lot of weight in the last few months. I'm waiting till I can lose my weight. and then I will publish the book and launch, do a launch party, right? This is the mind, the ego's distortion. It's just saying that, oh, you will not look good when you go out on stage, when you're hosting this event. Just distorting facts, right? It's distorting the fact that your book is good enough and your physical appearance does not matter. Of course, lose the weight because you want to feel good in your body, but don't affect your book launch because of your physical appearance. So that's an example of distortion and generalization. We just generalize, that, yeah, there's enough books out there. Who needs another one? Or, I'm bad at grammar. We just pick up stories and we're not even aware when we are picking up an unresourceful belief. So just want you to be stay aware of the self talk that's going on within yourself, and ask yourself, is this a deleted, distorted and generalized version of the truth? And 99.99% it is, because what I think is the truth is not what you think is the truth, right? So my version will always be different than yours, and your version, I will delete and distort and generalize your version to fit my map of the world. I'm going into NLP, but I'll come back to book writing, okay? So I think that was very valuable. I could not share that when that came up, intuitively. So coming back to content, right? And when it comes to content, I want to, the first premise that I want to share with you is, you don't need quantity. Like, you don't need, oh my God, how am I going to write like 40, 50,000 words, And that is just, that is just overwhelm, stopping you in your tracks, because overwhelm is this monster again, like, a version of your ego which likes to, take control. Because when there's overwhelm, you generally stop acting, right? It's, you can act when you are focused on the next baby step. You don't act on, like, you don't climb a mountain in one leap, you climb a mountain step by step. But if you look at the mountain and if you think you have to climb it in one step, then you're never going to do anything. And that's how overwhelm controls you, So I just want to take a tiny pause here and see how y'all are going. I would love to hear what is, what's standing out for you, what is resonating with you the most. So please keep the comments coming. I'm going to have a sip of my ginger chai. It's a very cold for me because I'm Indian make. Autumn morning here in Adelaide. So, okay, I'll keep going, but keep your comments coming. Yeah, so the first thing that I talked about, the first premise is that, remember, it's, overwhelm does nobody any good. And it's always, and I think though this is more relevant for tomorrow, but, nothing is, nothing is wrong when it's coming from intuition. So the next thing that I want to ask you is, we all, from the time we started a coaching business, we have secretly dreamt or aspired to have our own signature system, or if not, you must, it's totally worth it. It's an exercise that helps separate you from the crowd, which is what you want to do, not for, not for any vanity purposes, but, or not for looking good or not for looking better, to the world out there, but to finally acknowledge and to finally fully accept and own the fact that you are different from the rest, right? It's not something you just have to prove to others. It's something that you have to own for yourself, right? But how do you do that? Because when you start coaching, everyone is a generalist life coach, except the very few rare who have a very clear burning, like mission, and maybe they've already been on a certain path, and they know they want to work with children, or they want to work with uh, women under, who've gone through abuse or whatever. But most of the coaches, they start at a place of generalism, and then, like, these businesses, small businesses, they struggle and then they shut down, right? Or they always remain a hobby, or they undercharge, they're never able to really thrive. That is because they just got busy with the doing, with the, yeah, they just got busy with the doing, but didn't spend the time enough to create a system, a unique system for themselves. And that's what we've done for all these authors in their books, okay? But my question to you is, why do we not create our own systems? I am not getting anything. I hope we are live and I hope the connection is all right. Um, just a quick hello. Okay, looks like someone's typing. I'll wait for a comment to come in, but I will keep going in the meanwhile, because I just want to pack it all in the time that we have. So, the first and the foremost reason that I have noticed and experienced through my life experience and through watching others as well, is that we have been conditioned to believe that there is greatness in martyrdom, right? There is greatness in suffering, in struggling, in hustling, in, all those things, in basically being a victim, right? Yeah, okay, great point about systems. Hi, okay, so your comments are coming, thank you. So it's all working fine. So we have been conditioned to believe that there is greatness in martyrdom. Look at any area, mothers. I was, when I became a new mom, and, like, there was no shortage of money as such. There was no financial drama. There was this one phase I clearly remember, and I saw, like, really beautiful dress at Target. I think it was $30, and from somewhere out of nowhere, there was this deep seated belief, because I have always seen my mother sacrifice and struggle. And I reminded myself, oh no, Shilpa, you're a mother. You're not supposed to have everything now. Like, what if you fall short of money for your child in the future? And right, like, yeah, maybe I want to send her to school, and I'm going to fall short of these $30. It was very irrational. But I remember that as a defining moment, and thankfully, I was able to call myself out and identify that this is me repeating, uh, you know, social conditioning, and I have to change this. I have to come out of this tribal cycle. Um, so suffering has always, is always shown to be a sign of greatness, and this, I'm gonna touch upon religion with a lot of respect. Uh, you know, but yes, it all starts with religion. So the Jesus suffered, Buddha suffered, Rama suffered, Muhammad suffered. Like, you name any religion. These are the few that I know of, and they all have been shown as leaders who suffered. And then our ego made a meaning that they are world leaders, they are leaders of humanity because they suffered. But it's not that, and I don't think God wanted to show us, or wanted us to interpret their journey, whoever we believe in, whoever is our version of God. I don't think God ever created human with the intention of saying, okay, go, and the more you suffer, the more I'll love you. It was never meant to be like that. It is, us human interpreters of religion and religious texts, that, we just made a meaning out of suffering, that suffering is makes you great. uh, so I have always, so ever since I've realized this, I have set this standard for myself that my God wants me to be happy. And if I'm suffering, that's not God's plan. Or, I kind of, I call myself out and I'm able to, reflect where is this self-induced, self-inflicted suffering? And why am I doing this to myself? Why am I making life harder? So a few years ago, I worked with a very very dear friend and a coach who has left us. He passed away a couple years ago, and he always used to, this was the theme of our coaching sessions. He would say, Shilpa, when are you going to allow things to be easy for you? And I remember, when I look back, I think, oh my God, I was crazy. I was just not willing to have it easy. I was just not willing to let things be easy for myself. And I was just, you know, making things harder. So, anyways, if we study any religious texts, right, which is like the foundation of, ever since we're born, we're taught about God, religion. That is our first institution before we go to school and like before family, right? So, um, whatever their message, if you look at, if you look at these texts, they they convey the information using content pillars, right? So in the Hindu text, I know, like the one that we call the Bhagavad Gita, which was Krishna's message to Arjun, there are 18 chapters. So there has to be organization. I don't know a lot about other texts, but I know that Bible has sections and chapters, and even the Quran has chapters and sections focused on certain virtues, right? Uh, so, like right from then, this example is available to us. You might want to teach them all the things, but if you dump it on them, it's just going to leave them with overwhelm and not going to transform their life like you wanted to. So even though you have all the good intention, it's important that you package your information in a way that is easy to consume, which they can, file in their heads. It's like, okay, so when I think of Rachel's book, Gifts from Grief, this book has 12 chapters, I think. Oh, yeah, it has 12 chapters. 13 chapters, yeah, there's a bonus one. But every chapter is called the gift of, the gift of gratitude, growth, perspective, compassion, resilience. So she has kind of packaged the various gifts that she received through her grief, and these gifts helped her grow into who she is today. And that's what she has packaged in her book. Uh, for Mary's book, I already told you her system is freedom, right? Um, yeah. So coming back from religion to system, to model. So here are some more things, and I would love to hear from you. What stops you from creating a robust system, a system that can be, a system that is repeatable, okay, which can be repeated, which can be delivered, harmoniously on, like, over and over and over again, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So look, like, even as that phrase is coming to me, like a no-brainer, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We all know that we are not supposed to reinvent the wheel, but yet in our coaching business, we think, how can I make, how can I make a cookie cutter solution? So making a system is very different from making a cookie cutter solution, right? And that's what I had shared a post about on my Facebook profile yesterday, which I will also kind of share in the group for you all to know what I mean. For a long time, I resisted from creating a coaching, like a method or a formula for my author clients, because I thought everyone is different. This is like true story. This is my experience. We think that everyone is different. How can I create a step-by-step plan because I don't know what they bring, but you don't have to know what they bring. You have to design a container for them, so that no matter what they bring, you know that you can file that information in these four categories and then help them come out clearer and confident with the outcome that they want, right? And that's what I have done with the 4M formula, which is message, model, mission, miracles, right? So here are some of the reasons which I have learned from my clients, from other struggling authors, and from my own experience as well, as to why we resist creating, our own system, our own content pillars, wisdom pillars, formula, method, structure, whatever you call it. Okay. So one is, who are we? Who am I? And what have I got? That is again deletion, distortion, generalization. Your ego totally hijacking the agenda, and saying like, who even are you, right? So who are you? You are your life. You are your own evidence, and whoever you are, no matter like simple hometown girl, you have nothing to defend, nothing to prove to anyone else. But all you have to do is own your worth and prove it to yourself. Like when you believe in yourself, then there is no need to prove anything to anyone. It's only we feel that we are not good enough to have our unique methodology, because even if I did put together a few, like, you might say this, Shilpa, if I put together a content formula, like, not content formula, but like my wisdom pillars or my signature system, what's the validity of that? Like, that's just me deciding that this is my formula. But I don't have a certification on that formula. Like, no biggie has come and approved that. So basically, seeking validation, seeking approval. But is your own life, is your experience valid enough? Like, if your real life, if you're not willing to call that valid, then what is, right? uh, so yeah, it's getting a bit intense. I'm really asking you some hard questions, but if you're not willing to value the truth that you lived, no matter how messy, but that is your truth, right? And if you don't think there is uh, a structure or a system within that, then you need some work. Okay. And basically it's just mindset work, like work about owning your worth, which is a whole different topic. I aim to discuss all those things later in this group, in additional, like, just bonus videos, but we will touch upon that. The other thing, that as I shared, everyone is different and they need a custom strategy. That is true, but it's also a myth. Like, if your custom strategy stops you from growing and stops you from reaching and helping more people, then it is not a custom strategy good enough. So the way I do it in my business is, everyone who works with me, everyone who wants to write a book, has to go through the four pillars. So this makes their book well rounded. So your book has a very strong element, heart element, with your message. It has a very, very robust head element, with your model. And then, there's the mission pillar, which is like the bulk of the book, which is the writing. The mission is the muscle. So there's the head, heart, muscle, and then there's the miracles, which is surrender to the universe, energy, spirituality. I cannot wait to unpack the last two pillars tomorrow, but that's the pillar that I use. So, even after they have gone through those four pillars, even though they will go through the same four pillars, there is, like, everyone has a different strength. And through, a psychometric test, through an extended disc assessment, I actually help my clients identify what is their effortless strength, what is their hardwired personality style, right? So in the previous round of Unleash the Author Within, which is my program, um, I had one lady who was, you know, yeah, like purely heart oriented thinking, very emotional, very feeling person. And to bring her down to structure was something that I personally, like, like worked with her or gave her additional support on, making her, sometimes feeling airy fairy ideas, bring them down and tie them down with logic. While there was another lady, quite the contrast, she was so rigid and so tight and so afraid of making a mistake, like very like perfectionist and very compliant energy. And if I say, okay ladies, this is the next step, do this, she would just do this. And it took her a little while to open up and start expressing her emotions. And there I had to nudge her and challenge her and stretch her to bring in more of her story, more of the heart element, which will make people connect with her a lot more. So that's where that's an example of how your system can still be your system. So your delivery of is your delivery is easier, as easy as possible, but then there's also always enough opportunities to customize it. So this brings me to checking the comments, and I don't see any comments. I'm just loving all your comments. um, oh, sorry. I thought I swallowed a fly. All good. No, no fly. Okay. Who's here? Who is still here? I cannot see who is still here. So, just a quick hello or whatever. Hell yes, if you're loving it. Um, I do have still quite a bit to share, which I need to quickly walk you through. So, yesterday, we did touch upon, so I have in my notes a lot of what we already talked about yesterday. So, if you haven't watched it, I urge you, please do watch it and do the homework. So, resistance is what I want to touch upon, just briefly. Resistance is like an evil force, and it has a lot of faces which we explored in great depth yesterday. All the ways in which resistance stops you, not only from writing but from creating a system of your own, right? So just when you're about to sit and make a model, or say, okay, let me just reflect, when a client comes into my this thing, or when someone starts work with me, what are the steps that I take them through? So it's all in reflection, it's all available, right? Or if you think of, if you're still not into coaching, or if you haven't, if you don't coach, right, if you just if you're a consultant, if you help people um, you know overcome whatever area of challenges, right, how did you do it for yourself? That's where the information lies, right? So everyone out there is looking for a silver bullet, and they're looking for it out there. But if you looked within, the gold is within you. Yeah. So yeah, like stop looking for silver outside, because the gold is already within you. Yeah. And that's why that was the inspiration when I was naming my program Unleash the Author Within. I really believe there is an author within each one of us, and we all have multiple books, at least one book, if not millions. I told you, we have enough information and stories worth libraries. Okay, I am madly taking notes. Love the pillars. Oh, love it. Thank you. And I'm here, legend. Yay. Oh, love it. Ladies, this is such an honor. I cannot tell you. Like, I am on seventh heaven right now, just even doing this gig. yeah, it's just, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I get to do this. So everyone needs a custom strategy. We've talked about that. That is a myth. Some other conditioning or beliefs that we have, made somewhere along the way is this kind of work takes 10 years to build. No, it can be developed in 10 minutes because you're not creating something out of thin air. You are actually, you're reflecting, and like a real, a good intuitive, uh, non-egoistic, heart-based reflection can actually happen in 10 minutes, and you might just, it's hiding in plain sight. That's what I would say. So it's always there, right? You have been living life, um, with a bit of ignorance. You're not aware that, oh my god, this is the plan, this is what I do all the way, like this is what I do every time I face that challenge. Or this is how I have always been able to be healthy, right? If you're someone who is like, a fitness enthusiast, you exercise, you're lean, you eat well, you're not attracted to sugar for some reason while the whole world is addicted to it, you're definitely doing something differently, and it's your beliefs, it's your mindset, right? And you think, well, I'm just being me, there's no greatness there. But it just takes, like reflection and saying, oh right, where is this coming from? Wow, I saw my mother always make healthy meals. We hardly, I saw my mother always using dates or bananas. Like, there is some reason, there is some source, to your beliefs, right? As well as, even if it's the opposite, right? If you've always had bad relationships, that is coming from some programming as well. That's a blueprint you probably observed, growing up as a child. Maybe you are, you come from a broken family and you saw a lot of, you saw either of your parent tolerating abuse. And when you saw that, your mind makes it mean that it's okay to be ill treated. It's okay to be treated like that. And that's how you allow others to treat yourself as well. So your wins and your weaknesses, they all lie, we know they all lie in our history. It's just a matter of reflecting. Oh, we are honored to be here too. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot wait, to put this out to the wider audience. Right now, it is a very, very private, intimate group. But I think this work should not be contained to, should not be restricted. And I know, Naomi, you asked me yesterday, how can you share this with others? I have taken that very seriously, and I'm gonna create a method, some way to share this. Okay. Um, so it takes 10 years to build, um, or just thinking, yeah, but she has a successful model, but she's been doing it for 20 years. So here's the thing I want to say. If you think such a model, like a good model, takes 10 years to build, and we talked about average age being 30 years, you've been living this life for 30 years, so your model is already three times, it has three times the weight that you expect it to have, right? Only when you're willing to accept it, to own your greatness, right? And this is one of my biggest missions in my work, to eliminate all forms of downplaying, right? And to really highlight your wins, your success, your journey, your greatness, your uniqueness. So, yeah, what else do I have in my notes? Um, yeah, okay. So, anything else? I just want to move on to the next bit, which is why we must make our systems, okay? So, and then there's a very, very beautiful inspiration that I want to share. Okay. So, we talked about all the reasons that we don't allow ourselves to create a system because, again, martyrdom, it has to be hard. If something good has come out in 10 minutes, okay, let's not 10 minutes, but 60 minutes in a coaching session. If something good has come out in 1 hour or 1 week of, what do you call it? uh, reflection. I'm not getting the right word. Okay. Brewing, right? If something good has come out in a short amount of time, we just have this, conditioning that it must not be good enough, it's just average, it's just whatever, like, who am I to make a good system and it be legit, right? So if I have called you out on that belief enough, then promise yourself, make a vow, write something on your notes that you are going to value who you are. You're going to value your wisdom. The so I've done this before, and I'm going to use the metaphor of a smoothie, right? The perfect smoothie is not with the ingredients that you don't have. The perfect smoothie is the one with the ingredients that you do have, right? The perfect smoothie is the one that gets made and that gets drunk, right? um, so in your life's smoothie, you have to work with what you got, right? If you got an abusive partner, you've got to work with that, right? I mean, no, you've got to not tolerate that. But if there is an abusive partner in your life story somewhere in the past, which I hope you're not tolerating anymore, but if that was an element given to you, it was given to you with a purpose, to to learn to learn the value of self-worth, to learn to respect yourself, to learn about boundaries. All those lessons were yet to be learned, and that's why you were given a partner, so you could learn those life lessons, right? No challenge is given to you for no reason, but we definitely don't have to continue to struggle and to be victims, right? So many reasons, there's so many that I would not even have touched upon, but there can be countless reasons why we don't create our system. But even if there's one reason that we must create a system, then that reason is superior, right? And having a system, why you must, is because it makes it easier. It makes it easier for you to convey your message, which is your ultimate purpose, right? Why are you hanging out in this industry of personal development and growth and transformation, whatever your vehicle is, right? So that is, because you want to convey your message, you want to inspire others, you want to improve their life, right? It makes it easier for others to understand what you're saying. So both ways, it increases the possibility of connections, and it increases the possibility of uh, results, right? So there's also this thing in NLP that the results you get is only as good as your communication or something like that. So if I ask my daughter, which I ask her all the time, just get the milk bottle from the fridge, she's just so tuned on auto. Even if I ask her, hey, can you give me the cheese from the fridge, she'll bring the milk bottle. Right? So yeah, the thing is, the response you get is only as good as the communication you give. And this is so your response, when not communicated well, could be no action, no movement, no one buying your book, or people buying it and not reading it, or they read it and they half read it, or they don't do anything about it, right? So you want your clients, you want your readers to become clients. You want them to share your message. You forget about clients and like making money, it's not even about that, but it's about um, inspiring them and making a place in their mind that they remember. Like, they will always know that I read this one line in, Shilpa's or Jenny's or Lisa's or Elizabeth's or um, book, and that changed me. When I read that, I was shaken. That's the impact you're looking. You just have to, and that comes when you talk from heart, not from when you say, okay, I'm going to research. Oh my gosh, I just remembered something which is not in my notes, but if you think the secret to great content is researching others' books, that is there could not be a worse sabotage to your book, right? Because then when you indulge in research, there is no end to it. First of all, because there's like hundreds and hundreds of books on your topic already, and then your self trust drops like right back down, because every book's index you open, you're like, oh my god, I didn't even think of that, and oh yes, I didn't think of including that. But then you're not writing a medley of the books that exist, right? You're writing your book. So when my authors work with me, they are, like, with love, and I hold space, and it's like a lot of hard work for the first 7 weeks, out of the 20 weeks of writing that we do together. The first 7 weeks are all invested in planning, and during those 7 weeks they are not allowed research, like, except like a quote or something here or there to add inspiration. But they don't go on reading books about healing abuse, or whatever their topic. So that's how their books are truly theirs, rather than like a mashup of other books. So that's how. So a system is how you actually, it's a step by step plan which helps make your dream a reality. It makes the intangible tangible. It makes it easy and easy. So having a system is all about making things, making life, making your message easy. Yeah. Okay, I will take a breath. So this reminds me of this beautiful model that I wanted to share with you. I wish I must get that for my videos. But do you know babushka dolls, or Russian dolls, where there's a doll within a doll within a doll, and all the dolls look the same? Okay, I don't want to confuse you, very meta, but you you will learn more about how we use that inspiration when we are writing book in my program, which I will share that tomorrow. Um, I hope you'll choose to join, you'll decide to work with me, and we bring out your book together. But for now, babushka dolls, there is this, they follow the principle of the part is in the whole, and the whole is in the part, right? So in your book, every chapter is a part of your book, right? And so the part is in the whole, which is, if your book is gifts from grief, the parts are in the whole. But also Rachel's message, right? That grief comes with gifts, and grief has no expiry date, and grief has no start date or stop date. It doesn't come. So there are some very unique messages that she shares, which she stands up for, which she believes. They are the whole, right? And that whole, that essence which we talked about yesterday, that essence is there, that whole is there in every chapter of hers, because she could not avoid it. Like, that is something which might like sneak into when she's writing a chapter, even when she didn't notice. It's like an apple tree, right? So the apple tree on the whole has the part which is the seed of apples, within inside the apples. But the part, the seed, has a blueprint to create an entire whole tree, right? um, I think it will get complex if I talk about how we do that, but basically there is a methodology of organizing your content for your book, and that's what we do in the program, so that it's not all broken pieces randomly put together. It's not just 12 chapters bundled up in a book. It is all cohesive information, where like they all feel like they flow together. They are all bound together with the same glue of your essence, right? So the part is in the whole and the whole is in the part. Uh, yeah. And, one more thing that I want to touch upon briefly is, a formula that I always tell my clients about what is content, right? So we think that my story does not have enough value or enough information. Again, like, deletion, distortion, generalization. But when you look at, so what is content? I say it is context plus the intent. Context plus intent is content. And what I mean by that is, if there was a situation in my life where I had very poor boundaries, no dramas with my husband, but it was the extended family. And, now we are in a great relationship, but there was a point where I was absolutely ignorant. I was unaware, and I, kind of, I kept spreading myself thinner and thinner to please themselves, to please them, but the appreciation never came because, I was not happy with myself. I was not proud of who I was, and I thought I will be good enough only when I hear words of praises from them, right? So that's not a reliable model ever anyway. And, many years later, when I entered the world of, personal development, I learned about boundaries. And, now we have healthy boundaries and a lot of love in our family. um, so when I think, like, yeah, whatever mine was, I was a, what can I say, I was a rebel daughter-in-law. Who wants to hear about me? They're going to judge me if I share this story with anyone, so I have thought about my story like this in, in the past when I was naive. Now I'm a bit wiser. um, so that is, that can be a very relevant content when the context is the same. When I see another young girl like me, newly married, does not, have any idea how to juggle the dynamics of like family expectations and enjoying your newly married life, and, yet having space for yourself, and, having boundaries. Um, so this is something that is very close to my heart, and I do want to do some work with, especially back in India, in my hometown, where there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of backward thinking still in, like in family, joint family norms. Uh, so anyways, coming back to content equals context. So when the context is right, and my intention to serve someone is right, no matter how small or how tiny the situation, that is great content, right? So when you're writing your book, ask yourself, is this relevant? Is this relatable? Will this help them? Like, and is this my truth? Basically, like, I'm literally like making these questions as I go. But yes, like relevance is a great measure of content, right? Relatability is a great filter to ask yourself, like, is this relatable? um, yeah. And if your story, even if that tiny story, if sharing that story with someone empowers someone and gives them one tiny resource to handle that situation better, then that's, I would say authority done well, right? uh, yeah. There's so much. I'm just kind of, with the words I'm uttering, I'm opening different sideways that I want to go in, but there's only so much time. We are at 12 o'clock Adelaide already, and I hope I have been able to, share with you or ignite within you the curiosity or the hunger for a signature system, for a model, right? And yeah. So, I'm going to give you some inspirations to start looking at. You don't have to start from a blank page. Um, all the inspiration is in the nature, is in the universe around us, right? So I felt that that was how I operate, and that's why I've my model is made on message, model, mission, and miracles, right? Which is, I told you the inspiration behind that was heart work, and then the head work, the logic work. And then, once the head and the heart have done their work, then all the decisions are made. And when you hand that over, the book map, when you hand it over to the hands, to the muscles, that's where your mission, your writing mission starts. And once the writing mission finishes, you hand it over to the universe that, dear universe, I have done my work. I have put in the hard work. I've put in the work, hard or easy. Like it is hard work. I've put in the work, and now I surrender it to you. Like, I offer it to you to take it wherever it needs to go, wherever, whoever needs to hear this message, right? That is where, publication, marketing, collaborations, speaking gigs, blogging, visibility, all those is what I discuss in the fourth pillar of uh, miracles. Oh, you have really inspired me today. Thank you. Yes, that was my objective, to get you all moving, and that's good to hear. So another model that we have available is like if you have something that is cyclical. So I have a very dear friend who works on like women's periods. So she's a period consultant or something like that. But so her model is like around the moon, right? And everything, all the work she does is around moon or seasons, right? Seasons is a great model. There's the four seasons: winter, spring, summer, autumn. There's day and night. There's the contrast. There's morning, afternoon, evening, night. There is the rainbow. Seven colors of the rainbow, seven levels. Yeah, like these are some universal models which you will never go wrong with. But then there is also, does not have to, like, yeah, there's 12 months in a year, and that's why maybe Rachel chose 12 chapters plus a 13th bonus. But for example, Mary, she did not choose any universal model as such, but she just mapped out the total journey of her client from start to finish when she takes them on a journey of art therapy and healing. And there were four, like there were seven pillars of freedom. I don't even remember what it stands for, but I will share these with you in the book. Yeah, so freedom stands for focus, respect, expression, explore, discovery, observe, momentum. And, yeah, without going into much details, but that is what was relevant for her clients, right? So, with that, my aim today has been to get you to jot down your logical content, based on the work that you have done yesterday, based on, identifying your essence, but without, so tangibilize it, logicalize it, if these are even words, but add logic to your intuitive essence, which you kind of arrived at yesterday. So blend your heart work and do some head work today. And remember to keep it easy, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complex. Take inspiration from nature, and beyond everything, don't forget to trust what's coming from within you. I have done that a lot. I have deviated from my notes, but I have included everything that my notes had, but I have only given more. And I did not, I just trusted that if something's coming to mind, then I have to share it. It's meant to be shared today. That's it. That's it from me for today. And what I'm going to do is, I just want to, like give you a sneak peek of what's coming up. So tomorrow I will share with you details about my next round of Unleash the Author Within Mastermind. This is a program which takes you from start to finish, from having a roughish idea, or if you've done this work, you have nailed an idea somewhat, and we can start to, make it into a tangible book. So, from starting with a rough idea to a finished manuscript and published and distributed and printed copies in your hand. So, that's what I have in store. And as I said, I'm also a very, very, firm believer in ease. Thank God I have had that transformation. I strongly oppose, writing books in like trying to do it in record time. Like, I've written my book in 10 days. Even if someone has written their book in 10 days, no one tells you about the months of planning that they did before that. Or if, look, if really they have done everything in 10 days, then I would question the quality of that book. But, and I think I have had the honor of working with women who have, like really deep and meaningful stories and like very vulnerable stories. And I had the honor of holding space for them, so they could finally keep the overwhelm aside and just start looking at one piece of information and one baby step at a time to finally get their book to completion. So there are stories of, like losing loved ones to cancer, losing loved ones to suicide, losing loved ones to accident. There's a lot of grief work that I have had the honor to witness and to see them heal through their work, as well as there is like yeah, there's this all like great. So this I Am She by Shama Upadhyay. She's my very, very wonderful friend and client in Sydney, and she had this constant tug of war between like not owning her feminine and constantly thinking that she has to be more masculine to be more successful in this world. And that's her story that we've packaged in the book. So it's going to be a 7-month mastermind. Um, yeah, so I was talking about speed. I don't believe in doing things like super fast. I think that such deep, meaningful stories need a lot of, you know, care and gentle progress rather than running a sprint. They are more of a marathon. And yeah, I just want to hold off from sharing too much information just yet, but I will reveal everything about the program tomorrow. And I cannot wait to welcome one or all of you in the program. And it starts at the end of March. All details coming tomorrow, and it will go for 7 months from there. But your book will be in your hands well before Christmas. Um, so if that's something that you look forward to, you aspire to, then yeah, keep an eye out for tomorrow, and we'll catch you live tomorrow at the same time, 11 a.m. Adelaide. Okay. And I will share a special homework post in the group, just like I did yesterday. Please do the work. I'm going to just go through the group and just check anyone, any more homework or any comments that have come. Uh, yeah, just like take this through to completion. That's my request. That's I urge you, that's my command. Like, you've invested 1 hour watching this video. uh, Better do the work, otherwise it's all, it goes down the drain. That's it from me, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.